Hey guys, Xlice here. Laevatain is our first limited character in Arknights Endfield, and she's starting things off with maximum heat. For short, I will refer to her as Lava for the rest of this video. If you're looking for a heavy AoE, on-field heat DPS, or someone who is just hot as hell, she's probably someone you'll want to pick up. Because this is our first limited character and the game just came out, this guide is all about the basics so you can get her up and running to have some fun. I will provide you as much knowledge as I can on what she does, how to play, how to build, how to gear, how to team, how to lava. Let's get into it. Starting off with what she does in combat and how to play her. Her main purpose is all about this icon you see here called melting flame stacks. She can hold up to 4 of these and they are generated in the following ways. First, her final basic attack converts all nearby heat infliction into stacks. Heat infliction is a debuff that can be applied by ally skills and QTE or by her own ultimate. This is the most common way she generates them in AoE situations, since 4 enemies with 1 stack of heat infliction equals instant 4 stacks. Second, her QTE generates 1 stack. And third, her base skill can generate 1 stack, but this is less common. Usually, you will only want to use her skill when it lights up to consume 4 stacks. For the most part, you guys will most often abuse number 1 with lots of heat infliction from herself and allies and gain a little bit from number 2. Once you have 4 stacks, you can use her enhanced skill. This will consume 4 stacks, deal massive AoE damage, inflict a combustion that deals damage over time, and also grant 100 ultimate energy. Her enhanced skill is what you will want to constantly use, assuming skill points and stacks since it deals her largest chunk of damage. So basically, ally abilities and QTE will apply heat infliction debuff. Lava uses her basic attacks to convert them to stacks, and when her skill lights up, it consumes them and deals massive damage. But this constant ability combo consumes a lot of skill points, because you'll need heat infliction from ally skills and then her own skill to do big damage. So that's where her ultimate comes in. It does have a 300 energy cost, which is very high compared to other operators with an average of 100, but her enhanced skill and QTE generate a good chunk of ultimate energy, so the uptime will feel normal relative to other characters. In this mode, she forcibly becomes on field and all of her basic attacks are enhanced for 15 seconds. Her third basic attack will now also apply heat infliction to all enemies hit, so now she has it built into her kit. So during these 15 seconds, she's basically self-sufficient in generating stacks and requires much less help from allies to apply heat infliction. This also means your SP usage is only needed for her enhanced skill, allowing you to replenish a bit before executing her normal combos again. So that's the gist of her gameplay. Apply heat infliction with either ally abilities or her own ultimate, continuously use her basic attack to convert them to stacks, and then use her enhanced skill when available for massive AoE damage. As you level her up, she will gain additional combat bonuses to assist in battle. You can see them below her skills in the operator page. Scorching Heart gives her ignore heat resistance for 20 seconds, which means more damage. And Reignition gives you a massive damage reduction if you fall below 40% HP, which is really huge for survivability considering it's 90%. This makes her naturally tanky as an on-field DPS. For talent priority, max out the battle skill first. This is her big AoE, and it gets even more bonuses during ultimate, which is pretty juicy. Then grab ultimate for those basic attack enhancements. These two are her most important abilities. QTE is mainly for energy replenish and stack generation, and her normal basic chain is just for converting heat infliction to more stacks. Level these as needed. As an on-field though, eventually max out everything, but prioritize skill and ult first. Now let's take out our build. This is from trial. So for attributes, she primarily scales off intellect, with a secondary in strength. These values convert to her attack percent, which is her main damage scaling stat. Notice that with her stats, she does not need crit rate or crit damage. Her signature weapon gives intellect boost, attack boost, heat damage, and huge basic attack damage bonus after casting ultimate. All great synergies for her. Each of these 3 bonuses here start off pretty low and will be upgradable through the essences that you farm later on. While I do recommend you get her signature weapon, not everyone will go for it, so here are some really great alternatives. The middle tier Battle Pass has a selectable 6-star weapon crate that has a really great option for her. Just as a reminder for all of you playing, you should be activating this middle tier Battle Pass as soon as you can. It is the single most valuable use of your aura geometries, which is the premium currency that you can spend on. It fully pays itself off and more with no catch. Refer to my beginner's guide on why. So this Battle Pass has 3 weapons catered to each of the 3 limited characters coming up: Lava, Gilberta, and Yvonne. Lava's is going to be this Umbral Torch. Intellect, heat damage, and a passive that grants attack percent and heat damage bonus. This is a great general weapon to have for her if you don't plan on pulling her signature. Otherwise, you can use the 5-star Fort Maker for general intellect, ultimate gain, attack, and arts intensity. If you don't have any of these, take a look at all your weapons and see if they have this green thumbs up. This is the game's indication of an attribute stat that scales well with that character. And if you have none of these weapons but have some arsenal currency, you can also buy 5-star and below weapons for a flat cost. Fort Maker here is 400 arsenal tickets. So for gear, her best 3-piece set is going to be the Hot Work Gear Pack for general use, providing 30 arts intensity and 50% heat damage bonus. She will apply combustion constantly as part of her abilities, so this is pretty free. Now each character has slots for 1 armor, 1 gloves, and 2 kits for 4 pieces, so you do have space for 1 off piece. For lava, you're gonna run 2 pyrometers for intellect and skill damage bonus. The other kit is Power Bank, which provides strength and agility but no intellect. Then grab these gloves that give intellect and strength. There are other ones that give other stats, but we want intellect and strength. And for the body, it doesn't have intellect, so we're gonna go somewhere else. The 3-piece will be covered with the 2 kits and the gloves here, and then we can go up here for this. This body instead gives intellect, strength, and ultimate gain efficiency, all very valuable stats to have. Gain efficiency is like energy recharge. Now, when you have your base set complete, eventually you can go to artificing and improve the gear with duplicates and other materials. So with this specific gear on, her stats are just raw damage. No crit stats to fiddle with, just go have fun. Alright, quick run through of potentials for the Giga Whales out there. Most of you can skip to the next section for teams in combat. P1 improves her skill to deal 1.2x final damage and it returns 20 SP. Nice extra damage and SP recovery is useful. P2, intellect and basic attack damage increase. P3, improves her skill again to deal more combustion damage, which is the burn DOT. The DOT also gains a 1.5x final damage increase. P4 is minus 15% ultimate energy cost, which is easier uptime. And P5 is in ultimate attacks gain a 1.2x final damage increase. And defeating enemies extends the ult time by 1 second up to 7 seconds. So total ult time possible is 22 seconds with this. Overall, her potentials are just a major focus on skill damage and ultimate quality of life. Exactly what she needs. Now, who do you put on her team? So currently in Endfield, we have a pretty static lineup of characters that have pretty defined roles. For Lava, our main goal is Heat Infliction, and then Sustain if we need it, and SP if we need it. For Heat Infliction, we currently have 2 heat units that fit the job: Wolfguard and Akakuri. Given this exact lineup and adding in a free Ardelia that you'll receive on day 3 of the game, we have our staple team comp for 1.0. Lava, Wolfguard, Akakuri, and Ardelia. Wolfguard is going to be a staple for this comp, providing Heat Infliction in both his skill and his QTE. Akakuri provides Heat Infliction only through her skill, but provides highly valuable SP recovery through her QTE and ultimate. Ardelia is our standard for sustain through her skill and ultimate, as well as art susceptibility through her skill against stronger enemies. Think of susceptibility as a brand effect that increases their damage taken. Since this is early game though, you may not have access to this many characters. You will have Ardelia guaranteed by day 3, so include her here as soon as you can. In the meantime, you can just use the potions that you can add to each character. Hopefully, you can grab at least one of either Wolfguard or Akakuri. Both is ideal, but just one will at least allow an external source of heat infliction. Otherwise, it'll be very slow to generate her flame stacks, and you'll be waiting for QTEs to generate just one per activation. Another really useful support for this team if you manage to grab him is Antal. Even though he is electric, his kit provides a mixture of heat susceptibility and heat amp, which is an amazing extra benefit to Lava's damage. Now, if you don't have any of these characters, don't worry. Just throw something together for now and have fun. Later on, when you challenge endgame content, you'll probably need to reconfigure your team, but for now, just wing it. No biggie. Now let's go through a demo of our combat using our trial. So we've got the premium team currently with Akakuri, Wolfguard, and Ardelia. First, we lead with Akakuri's skill or Wolfguard's skill. Akakuri's is a frontal slash and it can hit multiple enemies, applying heat infliction debuff to all of them. Wolfguard's skill also applies heat infliction, but only on the final shot to one enemy. In AoE situations, Akakuri can initially apply heat infliction to more enemies. As they pop up, we use our QTEs. Wolfguard's QTE applies more heat infliction, Akakuri's recovers some SP, Ardelia's applies corrosion, and Lava's gives her 1 stack and ultimate energy. While all this is happening, we are left clicking with Lava on field so that her basic chain continues to cycle. As she does her final basic attack or finisher, we'll take mental note of her stat count by her SP. Or you can just ignore it and wait till her skill lights up, that's fine too. Popping Wolfguard's ult and Ardelia's ult whenever, for free damage and free heals from Ardelia that we can collect on the ground. When ready, we initiate Lava's ult for 15 seconds of enhanced basic attacks. During this period, we simply move around and try to strike as many enemies with Lava's enhanced attacks as possible. Her third hit naturally applies heat infliction, giving herself a nice chunk of stacks. Loop this with her enhanced skill, which is now more powerful with her ultimate, and we deal big damage. Later on when it's ready, we'll use Akakuri's ult to recover some SP to cycle the team's rotation again. Akakuri's ult also provides a link to your team, increasing the damage of the next skill or ultimate used. Chaining this with Lava's enhanced skill will do even more damage. Against tougher enemies, like bosses, saving 1 SP to use Ardelia's skill will apply susceptibility for 30 seconds. Our icon is the sheep. Make sure to use this only when it's highlighted to ensure enemies are corroded for that susceptibility debuff. Because it lasts for 30 seconds, it's a very valuable use of 1 SP for longer fights against beefy enemies, improving all damage from all team members during that time. So, what do you guys think of our first limited character in Endfield? Overall, in my opinion, Lava is going to be a staple main DPS for general use. Her strength is mainly for AoE clear content, but she's so satisfying to play in general that you'll probably just take her anywhere. Characters in this game are much more simple to build, so the complexity comes down to in-combat execution, SP management, stacking buffs and debuffs for multiplicative damage scaling. And that's gonna wrap it up for this comprehensive Lava guide and showcase. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'm super excited to make guide and showcase content for Arknights Endfield. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Endfield content, and happy launch, Endmen. Have fun.